All right, let's get started. So today we're just going to be talking about lead generation, which obviously is just a big part of, of what we need to do in our business. It's kind of funny. I saw a quote this week from Jared James. He's a national coach and trainer, and I'm sure you guys have heard of him. But all it said was because there's so much chatter about the settlement and things. So there are a lot of those type of folks that are like sort of saying like, hey, these agents actually work, just for the record. They are working, they have to work. But the quote was literally every morning a real estate agent wakes up unemployed, which when I read it, I was like, oh, that's true. We wake up every single morning unemployed because we have to, we create our own business and we have to push our, the business we do have through and get things sold and help buyers. So it was just kind of an interesting quote, kind of leading up to, this conversation about, what can we do to generate leads, and not necessarily paying for them. Sometimes we have to, sometimes it makes sense. And I'll kind of talk about both of them as we go. But I'm going to kind of just start with, ideas of lead gen, internally. And I'm going to just start with our sphere. So some of you guys have maybe seen me do this, but I just have this, see if I can get it to move here. So just some stats to throw out there to get our mind thinking about, our sphere. And when was the last time, I said hi to some folks, and I just want to, if I get an internet lead, what does that look like? And so just some stats to get our mind thinking about, what we have to do, internally and work our sphere. So just 92% clients that say they will work with the same agent again. So you do a deal, literally NAR, these are stats across the country, so 92% of the folks say, of course I'll work with that agent again. They helped me, they did a good job, we got the right house, they help us sell, they did well. So 92% of the time. And then just 63% agents that don't use a CRM. So, 63% of our agents do not use a CRM, which a CRM is just a customer relationship manager. We have Moxie Engage. So you put all the folks in it, and we need to let the CRM help us. It can send emails, it can remind us of things, remind us to talk to people, things like that. So just the idea that many of our agents do not use a CRM to kind of help run their business. So back to 11% clients that actually use the same agent. So 92% say they will, around 11% actually do. So what happens? We as agents lose 80% of our business because we didn't say hi to them since they bought or sold. We didn't, just remind them, hey, we're still in real estate. I'm still here if you need me. So when they go to do a second transaction, 80% of them don't remember who we are and just stop by an open house or saw a sign or look at a listing and it happens to be listed by an agent. So, that's a very scary number when all we would have to do is, use our phone and use a CRM to remind us, oh, that's right, I should say hi to John and Jim and Rebecca, and just remind them that I'm still in real estate. So very scary that we lose that much of someone that says they'd work with us. We wouldn't even have to fight for the business. We just got to tell them we're still in it. So something to think about. So 82%, the average lead rate conversion, SOI. So your sphere converts with you at a much, 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 much higher percentage than an online lead or whatever. So again, just kind of talking these stats. So 1.6% average internet lead conversion rate. So you get a lead from, Zillow or Realtor or any of those sites, you can expect about 1.6 of them to convert. So especially if you're buying them, if you bought 100 leads, and you would have to work them, you would expect to get about 1.6 deals. So, so you really we just got to analyze some stuff and see what's right for us. So 11, the number of times we need to say hi to a new lead. So we talk about our sphere. We would expect them to just say, "Oh, that's right. Rebecca's in real estate." As long as I remember that, I've heard good things. I've used, her to buy or sell before. My friend did. She said she was great, whatever. But if it's someone new, it takes on average about 11 times for them to trust us, to say, "Oh, Wayne would be great. Wayne's the one that we want to work with." So, you got to think that's a lot of times to say hi. And if you had those 100 leads that you bought, or, wanted to just go meet 100 people, again, just throwing it out there, we got to say hi to them a lot. We can't just send one mailer or, do one post and think, "Oh, well, I did that one thing. No one responded. It was a way," it just takes time for certain, pockets of folks. 18, so the number of months an average consumer takes to make the move. So, and of course, sometimes it can happen, but like no one is just going to wake up this morning and go, "Today, I'm selling, I'm going to call a realtor today and we're just done." They have been thinking about it for, on average 18 months. So they have, done some work online. They've gone to some open houses. They, read articles online about making their house, more saleable. Maybe they reach out to an agent that, and they're not quite ready, but on average 18 months. So just think when you get someone that says, "I'm ready to buy or sell," just know they've been likely thinking about it, well, certainly way longer than, 2 months, but it could be up to 18 months on average where they've been thinking about, what they want to do. Also, think about it like, if you get that lead today, it could take them 18 months. Maybe they did reach out, and just have a question about a house, and nothing, they go quiet for a little bit. And we often think like, "Well, another bad lead. That was a waste of time. I wasted time going, what if we stayed in touch with them for 18 months? What if they just weren't ready? What if they had just started their search and needed some more time and just maybe didn't want to talk to us every day or every week, so figuring out a way to stay in touch with them can be a huge key. So 6.2%, going back to the average internet lead conversion. So we can rate, we can almost, 5 times lead conversion if we use a CRM. And why? Well, because that person coming from the internet, what if they're not ready? What if they need more time? What if it takes them 18 months? What if we haven't said hi to them 11 times? We just got in this. The idea is the CRM will help us stay in touch with them. The CRM, the MLS, sending them listing alerts, sending them a newsletter and through Moxie Engage, just different things that we can help you set up. We can give you ideas. We don't want to be annoying. We don't want them to, we don't want to spam them. We don't want them to unsubscribe. But every single person has a need, and they almost know, we can help figure out what they want. So if it's a friend that you're starting to stay in touch with, you're not going to email them every other day like, "Hey, do you want to buy? Are you ready to buy?" But you can say hi to them and just casually remind them that I still sell real estate. But that new lead, who likely is online today, could be online tomorrow, like, be the agent that hangs on to them for 18 months. And I don't want to stress about them. I don't want to get annoyed with them. Like, "Oh, I'm so annoyed that I'm even doing this because I haven't heard from them." Let the system, let the Engage send them an email. Let the MLS send them listing alerts. Put a reminder in your phone to send them a text. So that's that kind of personal touch. every 2 weeks, every month, whatever you feel, because then they're going to be getting hearing from you in the emails and the MLS listing alerts, just as an example. But then you get a personal text that is very simple. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Hope all is well. I'm here if you need me. Please let me know if you need anything or see any properties that catch your eye. So you're not bugging them. You're not saying like, are you ready to go look at houses, or what are you doing? Or, we're just casually saying, I'm still here for you. And that's a big key to someone sticking around. In likely a buyer that just kind of comes into the market that might not know what they're doing, they could likely talk to 5 or 10 agents and maybe ask a question about a house. And we know some of the agents we work with, like, be the one that just says hi to those folks until they either say, we're not buying, so just leave us alone, or they actually are like, oh, today's the day. Today's the day where, we are pre-approved now. We know the number. We're ready. We've kind of figured out, we've done some homework. We know what we're looking for. So that's the idea, is just be that person. And then 15 times, so more likely to convert a lead that knows you. Again, kind of going back to the sphere, they know you. As long as they know you exist and know that you sell real estate, they're more likely to convert a lead with using those folks. 5 to 6, probably the scariest one, and I think this number actually has risen lately. But so every person knows, and obviously we know more because we're in the business. But like the average person knows 5 to 6 agents that they could just think of and say, well, we could call one of 5 people. So, we're going to actually go now to a little value prop yourself to be number one on that list. Well, John's always, sent us those newsletters about the value of our house, or he did that, so like, and everyone else is just casually, whatever, or maybe not even saying hi to them. Be the agent that says hi to them. And then 100K, number of agents gone. So, and that number kind of is in the last 2 years, so a little bit into 2022. But a lot of agents are leaving the business because a lot got into it. A lot were having a bunch of fun when you listed a house and had 20, sold it the next day for over asking, and you had 20 offers, and it was like, man, anybody can do this. So since then, oh gee, you know what? We have to work. We have to work for our leads. We have to find our leads. We got to be creative. We actually work during the day. So, so a lot of agents sort of are jumping out because they just thought, oh, gee, I could just do this in my sleep or on the side or whatever. And we obviously know as professional agents that, that just doesn't work. So just an interesting, and it's fine. I'd love to clean it out another 100 after that. Let's just end with the professionals. And I think we'd all be in better shape. So really, it's just, the whole start of this is just having an effective CRM process. So, and again, I'll stress, we can help you with this. It starts with, I'm going to go to my, so why have a CRM? Well, because it can do work for you. So we all know that one of my favorite quotes from Dan Elzer is, you can't be a secret agent. Like, he was an undercover cop at one point, and he's like, you can't be a secret agent. People have to know. And I traveled the country for 5 years, got in front of, thousands and thousands of agents. And I heard it over and over, like, well, I don't want to bother my friends. I don't want to bother my family. Like, you know what? There's ways that we can say hi to them and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and I expect you, to use me or think of me if you're doing something, or someone at your work or one of your friends. And it doesn't have to involve like, are you looking to buy or sell, or being obnoxious? So, but there is nothing worse. I think I'm sure, I'm kind of looking at the screen, we've been in the business a little bit, or we've heard, there is nothing worse at all than, walking up to a friend at a store or a family member at a family event, something like that, and or overhearing someone say, "Oh, we just listed," or "Hey, we just bought," or you run into someone like in whether they realize it right away or not, but the conversation comes around to they just did a transaction, or maybe even in the middle of one. Well, I have to look at myself and go, well, when was the last time I said hi to them? When was the last time I, told them that I'm still in real estate and I'm not too busy? That's another piece. Like, family and friends often think like, man, like you work all the time. Like you're so busy. I didn't know if I wanted to bother you. It's like, again, another reason why we have to say, I'm in business. I expect to use me. I'm never too busy for you. So we find ways to have those conversations. So it's just really, really important. So building your CRM, it is everyone that you know. It is friends, family, past clients, neighbors, people you've worked with, people you currently work with, like really just anyone that if you throw them in there, um, you start with the folks and then you grow it with folks that are just clients that you've met or clients that you've done deals with. So so building it, and I'll stress again, we can help you do this. We can help you do this 100%. We can help you build it, grab folks from different places, and help you get it into Moxie Engage. So working your CRM, obviously, we don't want to be obnoxious, but every single person can be set up on a certain plan and work them in a way that you want to work them. The folks in your CRM, so you decide who gets what. And then what to communicate kind of along the lines of working it. You kind of know what you want to send to your friends and what you want to send to your family and what you need to send to folks. And, a buyer client you just met needs to be hammered in the start, every other day or every week, something. So again, we can kind of work with you to figure out the best plan, but it's definitely something we need to do. Okay, so sorry, went the wrong way. So now, the CRM side, when I talk about lead gen ideas, this is kind of where we're going to get, we'll kind of still mix in the CRM in some of this, but the idea is, what else is out there? What other ideas do we have to create business? So, and these are just some of them. The first one is text ERA. So, and honestly, I was going, I could list 3 or 4 or 5 ERA tools, that could be valuable. But text ERA in just to start, really an unbelievable tool for lead gen, because if you use your if you have a listing and use your property code, if you have your keyword, whatever, John sells since Cleveland or whatever, if you have a keyword, like you can use that. If you have it on your sign writer, if you have it at your open house, like, hey, text this to this, or you can put it on social. So I see a lot of folks post a listing on social media and like, hey, check it out. Well, guess what? You gave them everything. You gave them everything. You gave them the entire listing. They have every picture. They have all the details. They have the price. They have everything, which is great, because if they click on it, they wanted it. Well, what you're not going to get is their phone number or who they are or who clicked on it, or you're not going to get that. So if just think about putting on social like, hey, I have an awesome new listing at 123 Main Street. For more details, just text 123456 to 35620, and maybe put a picture of the house on it. They're gonna, anybody that does it, they're gonna, if they text that, they're gonna get the entire listing in seconds, all the pictures, all the details. Well, at the same time, you're gonna get their phone number. So, hey, this person just, texted your post on social, or they were in front of the sign, or, wherever you're posting that. So it's just an idea to make them, just do one thing, and it's a text. So it's like, well, I'll text. It's no big deal. I didn't give them my phone number, but a great way to lead gen as an option. And then in this, the thought at the open house is, yeah, you can print out the flyers and sort of have them there, but you're going to be lucky to get a name and a phone number or an email if you have a sign up sheet. Well, hey, I save paper. I don't like to, print out a bunch of flyers and then not use them. So just scan this code or just text this number to this. And while you're walking around the house, you'll have the full listing on your phone. And then you'll be able to have it when you leave. And lo and behold, as they did that to get the listing as they're walking around, you get the phone number. You know who is at your open house. So that's kind of the idea behind that. So it's just a neat way to think about lead gen. It started with a sign writer, on your sign out in front of the house, but you can use it for so much more. Listings to leads. So it's a platform we have. So Text ERA, obviously free to us. It's part of our value package. Listings to leads, the platform is free to us. Jeremy pays for that. So it's not an ERA tool. It's a third-party platform that we have been a part of for literally, we were their first client. So we've been around a long time. There is a cost, but the cost is just, say the idea with listings to leads is, there are so many things that you can do. You can create landing pages and lead gen pages and, look for buyers, look for sellers, advertise your listings, and you can target it to certain, you used to be able to target it more, but now you can't quite as much, but to areas and things like that. In the idea is there is a cost, but it's if you're going to spend $50 on Facebook to boost it. So it's not a cost for the platform or anything. We handle that. But the fact is you can run an ad, which is, sort of one of those sponsored that stays at the top of the page, doesn't get lost, and use it as a lead gen piece. So I'm kind of looking, I think everyone on the call probably has that, has looked into that or whatever. But again, just something that we have access to, and can certainly give you more details as we go. Next one, just old-fashioned direct mail. I put included, just listed, just sold. So again, just so anybody that was in the coaching program, Alex talked about this and talked about direct mail, but it will go back to is you can't just send one piece and expect someone, unless you catch someone at the ultimate right day, it might work, but we're going to go back to, on average, if you're going to farm a market, if you're going to farm your neighborhood, on average, they're going to need to hear from you 11 times before they remember you and learn to trust you. So, not that all has to be direct mail. If you send 4 mailings and do 4 targeted Facebook posts and do an event in the neighborhood, or walk around the neighborhood, or do sponsor something in the neighborhood, like that. Like, you can mix all those, but just knowing that it's not just going to be a one-time, I'm going to spend, $500 on a mailing, and you could literally get nothing because it was just one mailing. You got to do other stuff, but you can get creative and kind of mix those touches to stay in front of folks consistently. But the just listed, just sold, know a lot of folks that do them, and can be successful. But if you have one listing in a neighborhood and send it, and then don't have another one for, a year, you got to think about, you got to think about it. You got to think about if that's, good for you or not. But, they can be valuable. So just an in general piece, your online presence. So I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted something this morning about sort of Googling yourself. So Google yourself, see what comes up, make sure the info is accurate. Your phone number, your email, your, where you are, and picture of you and all that. But in reality, then go to scrolling down and just seeing what comes up. Zillow better come up. You better have a profile on Zillow, because we know, as much as we don't like Zillow, and I put that in quotes, it's fine, but but you can create a free profile on Zillow, Realtor, Yelp, Angie, like on some sites that just says, hey, this is me, this is where I work, I sell real estate. You don't have to buy their leads, you don't have to pay to do, but just have it. So when someone Googles you, and they will, the average right now with NAR is above 70% of folks, if they're looking to do something, hear about you, someone tells them about you, above 70% are Googling you. Like, well, I'm going to check this person out myself. So having, ERA.com will come up first. And then, but you want a Zillow and a real, like you want, Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, wherever. You want a bunch of sites to come up that point to, yep, Amber's a realtor, Amber's a realtor. Same headshot throughout, same biography throughout. They'll all start talking. You're going to gain Google SEO with that. So lots of advantages for sort of just checking your online presence and seeing what that looks like. And I've had folks, Google themselves and be like, oh crap, like, if someone Googled me, I got different pictures, I got, phone numbers, different emails, like just it's like, that is not professional. If I'm actually Googling you to sort of determine if I want to reach out to you, and your online presence is a mess, that's it. They're not going to come back to you. They're not going to like, well, I'll check it in a week to see if they've straightened it up. You're done. So just super important that we sort of analyze that online presence. So open houses. So I'm looking, you guys have listings or continually have listings, but just know, whether you have a listing and do an open house, or just use other agents, that have maybe, folks that have, 4 or 5 listings or whatever, asking, hey, can I do an open house for you? And then, you work it out with them, but, you might be able to get all the, the leads that come in are yours. Again, get creative on capturing those leads, but, just think about doing open houses and in getting introduced to additional buyers. And then it's just a matter of, at that point, to grab them, try to grab them, show some value in the open house, and then potentially grab their contact info and have them as clients from that point on. So obviously I just threw this in there, but social media, like, it's a struggle for some folks, doing it, and like, I don't like Facebook and things like that. But, I think it's pretty important that we, that we talk about real estate on there, or just, I see folks just, say, like, I saw Amber's posts maybe yesterday. She was at a house getting, they were doing pictures, and, it's like, she didn't ask anyone if they want to buy or sell, or who's looking to buy or sell. But I looked at it and said, oh, that's right, Amber's a real estate agent. So you can do things like, had a great day showing houses, I love this. I love helping my buyers or my sellers, and, and just remind folks without, posting something, or just posting, this is the new listing, this, mix it in with, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right, they sell real estate. Oh, that's right, they sell real estate. So, so you can kind of get creative with that. And please, if anyone has any questions, you guys know, just unmute yourself, or throw it in chat, but you can unmute yourself and ask anything throughout.
Wayne?
Yes, John.
It's John. Are we getting, I had noticed on Agent Hub, I didn't see any more social media posts or the little graphics. Are we getting that at all anymore?
Yeah, let me, I think,
They used to throw it up there just, periodically.
yeah, I think, Riley was going to do those. I'll check, John, and I'll let you know, and then, but we'll make a post or something. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good. Yeah, that's a good thought. I hadn't noticed, but definitely something worth asking about. So next thing, your website. So if you have not, double checked or made sure that your ERA.com Moxie website is kind of up to snuff, Definitely super important. So the stat that we heard, I don't know if it was something that was like a national agent think training, or if it was something that I was on, but traffic to ERA.com is up over 300% at this point. Being that it would, being, just since it was new, I guess it's about a year from now, a year ago. But traffic is up. So, well, guess what? If traffic is up at ERA.com, they make their way down to our sites. So super important that, that your headshot and your biography are in there, and, you go in there and just, check that out and make it as attractive as possible. Kind of the same thing as with your online presence. If someone goes to your website, you got one shot to either keep them engaged or they're out, and they're not going to come back. So, there's not a lot you have to do to it, because you can change it as much as you want. You can customize one, fully, but, definitely headshot, biography, things like that. We want to make sure, get on that page. So websites for sure important. HomeBot, it's just a platform. It's totally third party. We don't have a membership, so this one's a cost thing, but I didn't put it under sort of buying leads, because it's sort of an additional CRM option. And I don't know what it is now. I don't know if I maybe have the fee I pay is just because I've been on it for a long time. I pay $25 a month. So it's not, I didn't want to put it into like spending thousands on leads. But HomeBot is just a platform. You can take your database Excel spreadsheet. So when we say build your database, you're adding first name, last name, email, phone, address, whatever info into an Excel spreadsheet, and we put that into Moxie Engage, and you still have your spreadsheet. Well, we can take that spreadsheet and put it into HomeBot, and HomeBot sends a monthly email to homeowners about the value of their house. And it will literally, the email will say, the value of your home is changed, and click this button to check it out. And they'll, like, who would not check, who wouldn't click it? So the open rate on my HomeBot is about 84%. So really good open rate. They click on it, and it's like, here's the value of your home. Here's what's happened in the market. Here are interest rates. It's just a really good email. It's similar to the Moxie Engage neighborhood news. So, definitely use one of them. I would use both, and just hammer them with emails that they open up, because then when you send them value, things about the value of their house, they open it first of all, or pay attention to it, whether it's a direct mail or social or an email. They open it way, way, way more than any other email. They start thinking you as the local market expert, so you're gaining strength with them, and then they just are really interested in watching it month to month, or they question it sometimes, like, what do you mean my house is worth this, more or less, or is this true? I get emails that say, is this true? And I'm like, well, let me check, because obviously it is just a computer thing, but they think I sort of designed that and I'm sending it to them. So it's just something to think about. Homebot.ai is the website, homebot.ai, or just Google it. And you can just check it out, but just an idea to, so it's not really well, I say it's not lead gen because they're my people, but I've had 2 folks reach out this year, listed and sold both. And both of them said, seriously? Or, they were basically like, is this true? And one of them was actually lower than HomeBot said, but I did some homework and they were like, okay, cool. Thank you for that. But yeah, two sellers reached out, listed and sold this year. and it was triggered by HomeBot. And I know them, so I send them other emails and stuff, but still the idea, it's a pretty valuable tool for folks that own a home. And it's a great thing to send to your friends and family. That's a great way to say, oh, by the way, I'm still in real estate, because, or folks that you're kind of, on the hinge about. Certainly, really anybody in your database that owns a house. So pretty cool little platform. FSBO expireds. Obviously, we talk about this a lot, and it's for some folks and it's not for others. But I just wanted to put it in here because the for sale by owners, I don't personally, I'm not seeing as many, but they are still out there. So if you're looking for something for your buyer, so when we talk about lead gen, it's also like, well, I have 5 buyers that I can't find a property for. So if I have some tool that can help me actually sell a deal, it's kind of like lead gen, even though the lead's there. But if I can't buy, I can't get them to buy anything, well, it's just sitting there. It's not, so using FSBOs for that, obviously to maybe gain a listing as well. But what we are seeing is potentially there are starting to be more expireds. Or we may see more because we're seeing price reductions, and we're going to see some sellers that might be a little grumpy with their agent that went through and took pictures on their cell phone, or didn't quite do all the marketing or things that they said, or listed it at a price and kind of acted like, oh, we're going to sell this, and then they're going back for price reductions. So definitely something to think about with expireds, as they creep up. But also the fact that you could actually go back and look at expireds in the MLS for really whatever time frame you want. So, I mean, you could do it if you want to do it like a little afternoon project, go to the MLS, look for expireds over the last 3 years. Make it specific, because there could be a lot just just month after month or day after day. But get a little specific and just start playing with it. And what you would do is look to, I would look to see if, what expired. Hey, that could be an attractive listing. I would just go back in the MLS and run a search. Did it ever get relisted? Did it ever get sold? And if it didn't, those folks might be just hanging out there like, well, the market was crazy. We couldn't find anything to buy. Well, guess what? We actually, and I put this in quotes, have some stuff to buy, or potentially, I know some stuff is still going quick, but there are some stuff out there. So some of the expireds that never relisted are still sitting out there because they were like, well, I can't afford to buy something. Why would I sell? So that's a huge piece that's out there. That's a little homework thing, but you could gain some business with, a little some time and maybe $1, with a stamp and an envelope and letter, or drive around and knock on some doors, that type of thing. But definitely still out there, FSBOs and expireds. And the last one on this thing, just referrals and value propping yourself. Telling folks that you exist and that you're still in real estate, and showing value when you can. We're talking about value prop a lot now because of the whole settlement thing, and how we may work with buyers in the future. But having that ready, having your value prop sort of practiced in knowing what you're worth, that says a lot. I just listed 3 properties. They're investment properties, high-end investment properties. And I walked in there, and I'd been talking to these folks. I haven't known them a long time. And like, I don't know, 2 sentences in, he's like, so what's your commission and what are you willing to do with it? And of course, then, you're like, all right, let's do it. But I was able to value prop myself and kept it I didn't drop it at all. So it's just, but you can't just wing it. You can't just be like, well, you gotta be like, well, this is what I do, whether it's on print or you just know it, or, you're looking through your listing or your presentation in general. You have to kind of know that. So I kind of throw it in there because, it's super important, nowadays to show value so that folks either come back to you, or maybe potentially will pay us, or just whatever. So threw that in there. And I just kind of want to talk about, some ideas about paying. I've never bought Zillow leads. I've never bought, realtor.com leads. It's just my thing. I'm not saying that, that it's wrong, but if you do, we have to know that you have to work them. Like, if you are not, grabbing a lead, putting it in your database, they immediately get put on this, or you're texting them, you're like, you got to work those leads just because we know it's an internet lead. But so if you do it, that's fine. Again, traveling the country, I talked to agent after agent, and any of the premier Zillows were like, we do pretty good. Like, we break even, and or some make money, but some break even. I'm like, oh, why? You're like, breaking even, but they weren't working the leads properly. So if you're ready to work the leads properly, you could spend some money and make money. But you got to work the leads. So, but here are just some options that are just kind of out there as. So OpCity is one. So obviously this is Megan's department. If you were on OpCity, I know there's a lot of, I'm on OpCity. I get messages, all throughout the day, and I have some successes and some frustrations. So I get it, but I'm just going to say, that if you just want a chance to get a lead, like take the lead, see what they want, but discard, like, location sometimes will trigger me to not accept one, but the value, whatever they say, looking at 100,000, looking at three, whatever that is, I'll pay attention to it. I'll notice it if it's a big number, but if it's a low number, I'll still accept it. And I did that early on because I was like, well, I just want to figure this out. Well, I don't know. One of my first 5 leads was under 60,000, and I actually accepted it. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I just do that? And sure enough, they bought 325, and that was 3.5 years ago. And they've bought four other properties since. Well, guess what? You pay OpCity for the 2 years after you accept the lead, but anything those folks do after that, full commission, so just think of it as, you're not going to make a whole bunch on a particular lead, that lead, but if they do something else or they refer you out, 100% no referral fee whatsoever. If I sold John something, I got my little commission from that deal, or less commission, but John told Jim, hey, Jim comes to me. Jim's not part of OpCity. Jim, I don't have to pay any referral. So lots of good things can happen from just sort of getting those leads. So just something to think about. Sold.com is actually growing. So this is one that you would buy at least. So it's kind of like Zillow, where you would buy part of a zip code, or whatever. But I often see that you can buy a zip code or part of a zip code for like $50 a month. So that's kind of why I threw it on there. It's not hundreds, it's not 500 like Zillow, or 1,000, whatever number, so just throw, if you can, catch them on a day, they have sales or whatever. Tom Ferry, if have heard of Tom Ferry, he's of course a national trainer. He was at Fuel this year. When he does a session, he'll do like sold.com will hire him to do a training session. So even if you get on sold.com and just sort of sign up or just inquire, just know that Tom Ferry will do a session. It'll be unbelievable for an hour or whatever. Well, after, he will make a deal that zip codes are $50 for a month, per month. So you can get into a zip code potentially, and I'm just hearing from folks that the leads are, that they get leads and they're able to work them, or at least some are responding. So just a thought, but I did want to just throw it out there, just because, if you can get, some potential leads at like a $50 a month, that might be something that I would consider. So referral exchange, and I'm just going to throw this one up too. So these are the last two I'm going to talk about. Referral exchange and HomeLight are just two options that you don't have to pay a thing up front. But if they give you a lead, and it's actually the same with Op City. So it's, we pay to be a part of Op City. So you guys don't, you don't get a lead and have to pay $100 for it, and then maybe they don't ever do anything. So, the advantage of Op City Referral Exchange and Homelight is, oh, okay, so if I get a lead and it closes, I get money, but I did have to give some up, but I didn't have to pay it up front. So in Referral Exchange and Homelight are completely third party. I just found them on my own. I'm a part of them, and I get messages, not one a day or anything, not like Op City, because they're not, but I just get a message like, here's a lead. And I'm like, okay, cool. And if I work it, then I paid 20, I don't even know, 25 or 30%, but I just wanted to throw them out there. It's just ideas, check things out. You can I actually did last night. I just Googled, internet, real estate internet leads, and, there are so many places that you can, potentially get leads, or they're giving you ideas to, to find them, kind of things. So, but just there's a lot out there. Just don't get caught up in thinking you need to spend, but I say unfortunately, just because, a lot of folks just give me a lead, just give me a lead. And I get it, because I just want leads. But we have so many dollars that we have there or lost in our sphere, that it's crazy. It's so crazy how much money is sitting there. Those folks, might do something, might not, but they know folks that are doing something every day. Every one of those folks probably knows someone or heard of someone that was listening to, like, every day, a different friend at work or at, whatever. So just seriously consider working that sphere, and then just, really just using all this other stuff to get other leads. Of course we want more leads. We want leads every day. But we have to work for it. So when I say unfortunate, well, it's our job, but a lot of folks just, sort of get into the business or think it's just going to happen. So in us, with us being professionals, we know it's not gonna, but what can we do? What options do we have? What time do you have to give to this? Pick one or two of these. Pick one to start and go, well, I'm going to start hammering on my social, or I'm going to try HomeBot or check it out or whatever. I'm going to start using Textia, or, you can't just look at it all and go, I'm going to do it all today, because then it gets overwhelming. But, just check some of these out, and just start, our minds just have to be in a direction of, this is me. I'm unemployed until I get someone to buy, and it closes. So what do I have to do to make it work so that I'm still a real estate agent, and have the flexible schedule? And I put that I do a lot of quotes, because I know I'm a real estate agent, believe me. So, but we have a flexible schedule, or we have this, or whatever. We love what we do, but we still need to sell some stuff to make it happen. So. Well, that is what I had today. I'm going to just pause. I'll let you guys, anybody have any questions? Hopefully it was at least valuable to get our minds, kind of thinking in the direction where we need to go. But if anybody has any questions, I'll just pause for a minute to see if you guys want to unmute. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate your time. As always, this will be in the Agent Hub probably by tomorrow. So anybody that wants to either rewatch it or just, check a few things out, please do. But otherwise, I'm always available if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, have a great day, everyone. You're welcome. Thanks, guys.